father currently holds this title as well. I grew up, like many of you, probably hearing and internalizing the origins where we all trace our roots back to. For me, that was and is true too, but it also means that we carry forth and are obligated to ensure that the link between past, present, and future are intertwined with everything it represents in the realm of tradition, familial, communal, and how that manifests itself, how we serve God, fellow men, and how we utilize our faith to improve the world. That is why I have wanted to say something literally for 30 years. It has been a defining memory and factor in my life. One of the most difficult things in life is to see the ones you love most suffering, to see them in agony, and not know what to do. It does not necessarily mean physically, but often emotional pain is even more painful. Obviously, we all heard this afternoon, post-World War II cemeteries were neglected because the Jewish people no longer, for the most part, lived in Eastern Europe. Along with that neglect came desecration of gravesite cemeteries, making it no longer a place to pray peace. I remember growing up, survivors of the Holocaust and their descendants, approaching my father and uncle about the destruction of the cemetery in Lesley. Survivors of the Holocaust understood the soil of the cemetery better than anyone else, because for them it was not just soil. Along with the bodies that entered the gates of heaven was pain, loss, faith, but hope as well. Indeed, for us, everyone has a place that is of high sentimental value, so you all can relate to this in your own way. So to see my father's fear and pain was very difficult. Hence, fast forward, my uncle, Rabbi Friedlander, who's now known as the Friedlander Group, was admonished by many people, urging him to do something about your ancestors' gravesites, a place where tens of thousands would come to annually to pray. And he really did not know at that time who Rabbi Zvi Kestenbaum was, but he did hear that he has a track record to get things done. I think Ambassador Eizenstat very, very distinctly underscored that point. You can have a vision, but to know how to implement that is even more difficult. But Rabbi Kestenbaum, of blessed memory, knew how to do that. Several months later, I remember this, like today. I was in the synagogue of my father, actually on the second floor, my grandmother's kitchen. And my uncle approached my father, present, saying, I just returned from a meeting with Rabbi Kestenbaum and someone by the name of Michael Lewan. And he said, look, we are going to take action. They're going to restore, they're going to cut the grass, they're going to rebuild this place of reverence. And it's going to happen. And my father said, Michael, who is he? He works for Congressman Steve Solis. I remember this like today, so I'm saying this over because, when you're a kid, they let you listen. I wasn't allowed to obviously share my remarks. I remember my father saying, oh, Yiddish. The Irish will help us Chizol and Baisha. May the merit of our ancestors protect them. Find the Yiddish, Engel, find the Yiddish man. So my uncle responding, to the best of my knowledge, I don't even think he's Jewish. And I remember the whole saying, oh, it's a Jewish name. Michael, this is the way it happened. Then my father added, you know what? It's I guess you were hedging your bets, right? But in all seriousness, Michael, all I can say is that what you did 30 years ago, you were Steve Solar's chief of staff. You went above and beyond. There are many members of Congressional staff here. But you can do and then you can do. And Michael traveled to listen to Rabbi Zvi Kestenbaum. And I remember my uncle telling me, and I remember my father asking my uncle, I would like to know, how did he pray? at the Grace Center. This is a European Jew. I wanted to thank him behalf. And he gave over his passion, his determination. So look, I'll stop speaking. But all I want to say is our heritage isn't those cemeteries, the synagogues. You took those issues into your hands by preserving what is so important to this community. And you did it with the 3 C's: conviction, compassion, and commitment. This showed us the unity and bond between all of humanity. And I had the honor and privilege to experience this act of courage, and hopefully I can follow in their footsteps. I'm here to thank Louis Kestenbaum. You have a tough act to follow, but at the end of the day, your Father's in heaven, and he's smiling right now because he understands that your sole commitment is to further what he started 30-something, 40, 50-something years ago. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen,